So right now we are resuming with you guys, I believe, getting to the dugout with the unconscious body of Al and the quote-unquote unconscious body that Knight brought with him, and trying to figure out what to do next and where to go next as a party, because I believe the feeling I get is that you all want to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
No, we should stay here and die.
Yeah, if there was a big fuck off dragon coming back, I think we should leave.
Right, so are you, Dan, are you going to return Al to consciousness so that discussion can be had?
Yeah, sure. I'll wake Al up.
Right, okay. So Al, you come to consciousness with a 6 whole hit point. I'm not really sure. The spell cast on Al, does it only work on an object? So would he immediately stop floating?
No, it works on people.
Okay, so you're floating a bit, which is a bit strange. You're conscious, but like gravity's not having the usual effect on you it should, which is disorienting to say the least.
It hurts so bad I can't even feel gravity anymore. Help! Wait, what the fuck? I pushed John off of me.
Yeah, John was standing on top of you.
He was indeed.
Yeah, Spax face first down into the snow, brushes it out of his beard, chuckles to himself a little bit, but doesn't say anything else.
It's... Get me fucking down. I can't... A human, right? Who has the spell up? Get me the fuck down!
Rock just looks over at John.
I'm guessing...
John shakes his head. It's not me.
So Al is probably just spinning in circles, trying to orient himself, but can't. So he keeps spinning in place, floating.
Croc is just going to kind of grab Al and try to pull him down to the ground.
Thanks. What happened? Did we win? We're alive.
Yeah, we killed them, sure, but I think that the big dragon might be coming back, so we need to leave.
What big? Why is the big dragon coming back?
The pretty one managed to get off a spell of communication.
Cool. Running then? And I look in a random direction and point.
Croc kind of just takes your arm and just adjusts it about 40 degrees. It's that way.
Cool. I start running that way.
Okay, it's still a jog because you haven't actually like taken a breather since. Remember sessions and sessions ago where you ran out your sprint duration and are still winded. Yeah, you've been beaten about since then. You haven't had a rest. Running for you right this moment isn't going well.
I will limp my way in that direction.
Okay.
He's had a short rest. Does that not count?
Did we have a short rest?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I guess you can jog, but your body's not feeling particularly good.
I would limp my way in that direction.
We almost completed a long rest before we got interrupted. So.
Oh, that's true. No. Where was the sprinting? Was that the first fight?
Yeah.
That was session 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
we did get a short
rest. So yeah, Rock is just gonna lead everybody back to the dugout.
I'll fly there with my rope.
I'll just keep looking up every 30-40 seconds to make sure no dragon.
Yeah, I think Croc is under the impression that they will hear it.
You never know. It was a short guy a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're not seeing any signs of dragon at this moment in time.
Yeah, Croc is just heading on back to that dugout.
Okay, well, I believe I said you'd reached the dugout, so we can move forward to that.
Excellent. I guess we check on the body that Sleepy was bringing.
Is he still there? Has he been attacked by woodland creatures?
He is still there. He is not moving. He has not been attacked by woodland creatures. To your perception, Knight, just appears that he is resting. I don't believe the fire is still running. I think you might have put that out before you rushed off. I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely dimmed down now and it's just smouldering.
Since we have a little bit of time, Croc is just going to do like a... Wait, no, did I already do a check on this person?
And he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
I think that John did a check, and I think you asked, and I said you, like, after John pointed it out, you could notice the same thing.
Okay. So, Karak is going to just look at Knight, or the Knight, and say, it's up to you. Do we take...
I begin hefting him over my shoulder.
Okay. Karak just gathers up their incredibly meager possessions, slings them in the very small bag that they have over their shoulder, and looks at the others. Okay, are we ready to leave?
Yeah, I don't have anything other than what I've got, and I don't want to be around here when maybe the dragon shows back up.
Precisely.
Where are we going?
North.
North. Cool. Is that under the cover of trees, or are we going to be sitting ducks for the dragon?
We're going to be in the swamp for the next 2 days, probably.
You are deep into the swamp, and everyone in the party, being that you are in the location in the swamp would know that you traveled a while to get this deep into the swamp, thinking it would be out of the way of prying eyes.
And you actually mostly were, apart from Karak's prying eyes.
Yeah, there was Karak, but everything else has been kind of still, and unfortunately there's been no animals to hunt or eat, but it's been, quiet until the ice elemental and the dragon happened.
And then a dragon showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is everyone good to go? Or?
Yeah, Karak is just going to do, obviously a quick head count and say, Al or John, do one of you have Luna in your pocket?
Luna, where would you be at this moment in time?
I'm with Al.
So Luna's with Al at the moment.
Okay, good. Follow me, try not to get too far behind. And Karak will start leading everybody north.
Okay. So we're going to go into a little bit of a fast forward, being that this is marching and travel. Can I get a marching order for how you guys are going to move, though, before we do that? Obviously, Luna is on Al.
I think Karak's going to be in front, because Karak knows the swamp
That makes sense.
well.
Where is Al located?
We'll be right behind them.
Right, and then from there? Being that you can march in a line, or you can be beside each other. I just need an idea of how you guys are traveling as a group.
I'm the edgy rogue, so I will take up the rear.
Okay.
Oh, John will like to be next to Al.
Okay, so it's going to be Karak in front, and then most of the party in the middle, and then Knight at the rear.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you start moving. It's a day of pretty exhausting travel in a swamp where it would be really sucky to move around at this pace if you weren't following Karak and following their lead. I'm going to move past the next day, so you can all take a long rest, just refresh to full stats, which is why I said don't worry about it in the level up. So full hit points, full spell slots, all of that stuff. After about a day and a half of travel, however, you do see a very big shadow come over the Mere of Dead Men. There is a massive thudding sound, but it is far, far in the distance. This is not a thing that like has located you guys and is landing near you. It still puts the wind up you. You still see the massive shadow come overhead, but nothing happens. Like there's a long moment of tension where you're like, oh god, it's returned to this location, but it doesn't find you. You don't see any paladins around. You don't see anything like searching for you. Whatever's happening in the swamp right now is a distance enough away from you, being that you spent the time you spent traveling, that they're not immediately locating you. And it doesn't seem that they're able to just like teleport to you or immediately know where you are, as far as you know. So, being that this has happened, what do you do about travel pace? Do you keep going in the same direction? Do you bunker down and find somewhere to hide? How does the party react to this shadow and thud?
I think the best answer is speed up, right?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. We need to get the fuck out of there because now...
if they are mounting a surge, it's only going to expand outwards, and if they've got wings, then we might be a bit outpaced.
But not just wings, they have a fuck ton of minions that they could search out in a fucking hunting party.
Sorry, didn't mean to post that. I was just trying to read up.
Okay.
John's gonna look behind us, in the direction we've came from. Have we been leaving very obvious tracks and signs of passage from like a reasonably large group?
Yes and no. See, the thing is, you've been leaving tracks in like the icy snow here, but a lot of it is melting and turning to slush. So it's very like the tracks aren't as obvious they would be as if the temperature was like set. Now that it's dropped as much as it has, and this is mostly salt water, even though it's freezing in temperature, the ice and snow is like melting to slush, meaning that what was footprints is now kind of weird gooey puddles.
Interesting.
So you're not entirely sure whether you're leaving tracks or the tracks are covering themselves.
Yeah.
We should probably walk in a single file to hide our numbers, like the Tuscans.
Step in each other's footsteps.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
so that's be that
dragon.
precise. Still.
Why does a dragon give a singular fuck how many of them there are? It's more food for it.
I mean, I think it's more likely to try and track us through scent than footsteps. Footsteps means there's something that humanoids tend to track by rather than well,
unless the minions get the job again.
Before we pick up on this, just a little housekeeping.
Okay.
At the end of the long rest that we got, John is going to use cantrip versatility, or the level up really, to get mending, and then cantrip versatility to get prestidigitation.
Okay.
And then he would like to cast mending as many times as necessary to repair Croac's wooden armor. That way that's all set moving forward. Okay.
It's a little difficult to cast and walk at the same time. There are a few failings, but being that you've got so much time, it can be accomplished. You'll probably need to ask like someone to steady you, so you don't really have to focus on where you're going, so you can focus on the spell. You'll need a hand touching Croac's armor for like a solid minute, so it's a bit wonky, especially when you have to like move over terrain, like logs and fallen debris, stuff like that, or not step in particularly poisonous things. It gets a bit awkward, and there are a few lost casts, but Croc, your armor can be returned to full durability.
fuck. All right. Feeling much better. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's the least I can do, considering what we've been through so far.
Right. And so I understand, are you guys leaving at the same pace you were? Are you now like running, or are you just traveling away, or are you now moving at stealth pace? Because those are the three options for overworld travel.
My vote is definitely go faster.
I think my vote is stealth pace.
the party is undecided.
Well, we'll have to walk at medium pace and benefit from neither.
We could walk at medium pace, and I can enter space with Pass Without Trace for an hour at a time.
Okay.
Can't we go at fast pace with Pass Without Trace?
It might be beneficial to go at fast pace with Pass Without Trace.
If you guys
Try to say that fast, Fang.
If you guys want to try that, I'm willing to.
Right. The difficulty is, Pass Without a Trace will make you guys harder to spot, but it's still moving at fast pace precludes you from stealthing. So doing both would have no mechanical benefit, unfortunately. Like
that was my concern. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're stealthing, you need to move at a stealth pace, which is keeping an eye around for things and like breaking line of sight on them if you notice anything, because a stealth is an active, you have to focus on it thing, which is why it takes longer. If you're just moving at full speed, you guys are basically like on jog march. You can't really stealth while doing that, because you would likely be spotted by something before you can spot it and then take evasive or stealthy actions.
I think it is stealth based then, because we want to avoid being seen from above. We can't be unseen by a dragon if we're running about.
Yeah, I mean, we may as well take the stealth pace now, because once we get out of the mire, we're not going to have the cover of the marsh. I mean, we can hug close to the mountains, but it's kind of mostly plains once we exit the marsh.
Sure. I mean, if you guys want to do that, let's do that.
Let's do that.
I'm just saying, if they do find us, kind of fucked.
So you're going with stealth then?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. How would you guys like to handle group stealth rolls? Would you like to nominate someone to handle the stealth roll, or would you like to all make stealth rolls and then we'll take an average?
I personally think that we should do an average.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise we just have the rogue do the minutes on.
Well then, would everyone make me a stealth roll, please?
Oh, I'm so glad that we didn't make the rogue do it. Okay.
Oh, look at that!
Wow.
Okay, so we've got both ends of the bell curve.
I've made 2 rolls this session. They've both been minimum.
Be advantage
They have, yeah. Drew, can we benefit from Pass Without a Trace during this?
Oh god.
This is the difficulty. You can benefit for it for an hour. So if you benefit for only an hour out of like this stealth check, I would say it gives you the +2 instead of a +10, because it's going to be a really stealthy start and then nothing after that unless you're recasting it.
Well, yeah. So if I enter space to, like, if I do it like every, hang on, first hour, then 2, 3, 4th hour, 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
If I split it up like that, would that do a good enough blanket over the entire thing to obfuscate us?
How many Pass Without a Traces can you have over the next while?
3 over the next hour.
3 over the next hour. And they last for, what, 10 minutes?
1 hour.
It lasts for an hour.
It lasts for a whole hour.
So you've got 3 hours worth of Pass Without a Trace with you going forwards right now. Sure, let's say that's a +5 then. Like that averages out. If you use all 3, I'll bump that up to a +5 over the group.
Okay.
Okay, so you start doing that, and you guys move to.
I'm just looking at our stealth rolls.
Yeah, you start moving at a stealthy pace, moving through the swamp. It's at that point that it takes, say, 45 minutes for you to notice that there is something moving in your direction that seems to go to a point near where you guys were, look around kind of inertly, and this thing it's in the distance. You can't see. It's very black. Everything about it is black. You can see it's in armor, but just very, very like dark armor, which is really not reflecting any light. It's like looking at a void. It's really annoying. You're not getting many features. You can see like horns on the helmet, big tower shield, and it's moving through the swamp in a way where, so you guys are moving over obstacles. This thing is just ignoring difficult terrain by terminatoring through it. So there's a lot of debris moved up, and this thing is super loud. So you guys, like, when it starts getting near, you notice it immediately. There's no stealth check required there. It moves to a location where you guys, like, had taken a moment to, like, stealth and look at your surroundings, stops there, looks around, and then just kind of goes inert. Like, it does a sweep, and then when it doesn't see you, it just kind of stops. And then it's like a light switch turns on in its head, and it orients towards one of you in particular, and then starts advancing again. And you guys can see this. It's still a while back, but it's so loud because sometimes it's just barging past trees and like taking chunks out of them as its like shoulder scrapes past. So it's really loud. Like entire trees are shaking. So even those of you not like getting a visual lock on the thing are seeing and hearing the trees in the distance behind you just going and like moving.
Question: who has the orb?
I do.
You.
Fuck!
Yeah.
It's coming towards me. It's doing the same thing that the
No, I
guy.
believe Luna had the orb. Did she not?
I guess I don't.
No, Luna definitely had the orb. She'd shrunk it last session. So
yeah, Luna took it from you and taunted them.
Yes, because you were unconscious.
Great.
And then Luna threw it.
Luna threw it, and then she threw it, and then the bad guy went after it, and then he picked it up, started flying away, and then heat metal was cast on the orb, and it exploded or something. I don't remember.
It did not explode.
I don't know. And then the bad guy died, and then someone picked it up.
I believe that someone was Luna again, because I believe the orb is in Luna's character sheet. So
Basker said it was him that had it, so maybe I didn't remove it.
Basker, did you put the orb on your character sheet?
No, I thought it was without.
Oh my! It's with Luna. Okay, it's with Luna. Luna's without. It's fine.
Al couldn't have picked it up. Al was unconscious, so it was on Luna. It's on Luna's character sheet. Luna has the orb.
Cool. So I will turn to Luna and go, Wings, he's doing the thing the other guy did. He's magically fucking tracking the orb. Can you do something? I don't know. Magic him.
What do you want me to do?
I don't. You're the one that does magic. Well, I guess, and you too. Now, when I look at John.
John, you immediately get a sinking feeling as you realize you've been rumbled.
I don't know what you mean now. I've done a couple of tricks. Nothing major.
You threw fire at the thing.
That's like the easiest thing.
It's magic. Not the time. Can any of you do something about him tracking the orb?
I can.
Oh, I do something.
No, I can't. I cannot.
Oh.
It's not my area of expertise.
Wings, books?
I don't think there's anything I can do.
Are you having this conversation while static and deciding what to do, or are you still moving in the direction that you're marching?
I think we're still moving. I don't think Krog would want to stop, unless everybody else wants to stop.
All I can do is disappear.
Not particularly, yeah.
Does disappearing matter? If you disappear, will he still be able to find the orb with the magic thing?
Probably.
Fuck. How much do we care about this orb?
We want to keep it out of their hands because that's what they use to trap the elementals.
How do we know they don't have others?
Because if they had others just easily to hand, they would probably just use another one instead of frantically searching for it.
Good point.
How much, Mr. DM? How much would John know about the inner workings of the locate object spell?
I don't believe it's a spell you're up to level of casting yet, is it?
It's second level, so yeah.
I have
it is? Oh, you have the spell?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, John was asking, so John could make an Arcana check if he wants to know exactly how the spell works. But Kroark, he hasn't asked out loud, but you know exactly how the spell functions. 10 is good enough to meet the DC if it's at your spell level. So you could read the spell off a character sheet. Like you can read the spell, assuming you have access to it, and know exactly how it works word for word.
Okay. You're gonna see as we're moving, John's gonna scratch his chin a little bit and like look like he's reaching into the back of his mind. If it's the spell that I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure if we get far enough away, he won't be able to like lock on to the object.
I look back at the thing, or at like the general direction of the thing. How fast is it coming at us when it's moving? When it's actually moving?
60 feet every 6 seconds.
So it's just as fast as
It's
fast as
spinning.
us.
It is.
Yeah, it's as fast as us, Terminatoring towards us.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say that the thing is, usually a humanoid would be falling behind because you guys are ignoring difficult terrain, and they wouldn't be. But this thing is also ignoring certain kinds of difficult terrain, and by certain kinds, I mean as you guys are watching, because there's a couple of very perceptive members of the group. It hits slush and slides, slams into a tree, and has to stop, go inert, and orient itself again. Because whereas this thing is not stopping for obstacles, it doesn't seem like terribly agile. Its feet are a little bit like... It's very weighty, obviously, because when it slams into that tree, it knocks it the fuck down. And you guys hear this. You guys see like the tree coming over because the entire forest like shakes a little in your general vicinity when that happens. It's possible that you guys could outpace this, being that you have a slight advantage.
We could lay an ambush if you think we could take it.
We don't know what it is.
Also, I have maybe not a good idea, but an idea.
That's a wall of text.
That is.
It is absolutely a wall of text.
That is the Find Familiar spell.
It is.
It is. John's gonna snap his fingers, and an owl's gonna appear on his shoulder and kind of preen a little bit, and then John's gonna say, I could use my friend here to go see what he's doing. We could find out if he's actually using magic to track us, or if we're leaving a trail. Somehow.
What difference does that make? It's running towards us.
Well, you're right. Honestly, I was thinking that if it was a magic, then we could, not... I don't know. And then he's going to stop and think, and he gets quiet.
Will your feathered friend be able to tell us what it is that is pursuing us?
Well, most likely, yeah, if he can see it.
Good point. We can get some reconnaissance.
I see no harm in sending him.
But you guys will have to guide me, because I can communicate with him, but I can't see from my own self when I do that.
Stood.
All right, so is that what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm going to tell my owl to go to like the canopy level and then fly backwards towards the thing.
Okay.
And if it's within a mile, I can keep control. If it's beyond a mile, it can just...
Yeah. It's not a problem. So your owl basically goes the opposite direction to you guys. You keep moving away from the thing. Are you still doing stealth pace away from it, or do you increase your pace to normal walking speed, or even rushing?
I'm tempted to say we should move fast to get away from it.
I'm thinking similarly. It'll make it easier for it to track us, but that doesn't seem to be a problem. Yeah.
Okay, so you go full cheese it, lads, and the owl moves in the other direction. Now, this is one of those moments where I'm going to abduct John, explain something to him, and then he can narrate it to the party.
Oh, if we're going to keep moving, if John can't see, it would probably tuck Al out to have to carry John, wouldn't it? And, like, it would suck trying to lead him.
Yes, and you've seen Al get tired from running very easily as it is.
Yeah. In that case, Krog is going to turn into a large elk-looking creature.
Okay.
So it's got the skull is exposed and bony, and there are just like small, like glowing yellow like pits for eyes. The antlers are kind of like draped in foliage, and the flesh seems to be made up of vines and ivy. And it will kind of like lean down next to John, indicating that John should get on.
Yeah. So has John sent the owl already? Is John aware of this?
This would be before John sent the owl that Krog would have done it.
Right. Okay. Well, John.
First of all,
yeah.
Sorry, go for it.
Well, no, I was going to ask you to react. Go ahead.
Oh, so first thing, what the fuck is that?
Does your friend not often do this?
This is the first time. Wow. I'm gonna like reach out and like poke him like with a finger, or poke them with a finger delicately. And does it like? It's like vines and moss, but also like rotted flesh, or is it just
it's not rotted. In fact, there doesn't look to be very much actual flesh. It all seems to be made up of like very tough, fibrous vines.
There's like an elk skull that's like been like picked up and is being held by like a vine body in the shape of an elk.
Effectively, yeah. There might be more elk skeleton underneath it, but you need to go digging to find out, and you probably don't want to do that.
Are there hooves in that vein?
Yeah, there are hooves.
Okay, elk hooves or like bark hooves?
Elk hooves.
Right.
Wow. That's okay. Yeah, John's gonna try to climb on very like trepidatiously.
Okay.
Remember when we first met them? They were a little monster thing.
Yeah,
I thought that was the only thing they could do. Silly me.
It appears to be a first time for every day for first times, doesn't it, Mage?
Is fire
okay,
the only
you
thing
were
you
unconscious
can do,
while I was
John?
casting spells. You don't know shit.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, except for the owl just now. Never mind.
John,
okay,
you
never
asked
mind.
fire the only thing you can use.
What'd you say, Dream?
What?
I thought you were saying something.
Nope, that was Blaze.
Yes, it was Blaze repeating that Luna had asked, is fire the only thing you can use, John?
It's what I have the best understanding of.
Okay. So you're mounted on an elk. Krog, do you get moving pretty rapidly, or is the revelation of this holding the party up for a hot second?
Oh, as soon as John's on, Krog just starts moving and leading everybody.
Right. So at that point, John, are you still talking to the party about this, or are you going into the owl?
Or into the owl.
Okay. So it doesn't take the owl long to locate this thing, and this is the part where I will abduct you and tell you what you see.
So John's going to reach up, he's going to snap his fingers and disappear his owl, so that way it's not in danger. And then he's going to come back to his own senses and be like, so it seems to be magically tracking us. It's 8-foot-ish tall with horns and arcane runes all over it. And what might be the most terrifying thing is, well, when it hits a tree, it explodes and then reassembles itself. So I don't know that we can hurt it necessarily. John's gonna pat Croc's shoulder and like, it's made of it seems to be it's either wearing or it's made of metal. So if we have to fight it, maybe you can do some good to that entity, but I don't even know what it is. But it's coming. Oh Lord, he coming. Guys?
Croc is unable to speak, so Croc just sort of, throws their head and acknowledges you, but just keeps leading the party.
Well, we can't hurt it. We can't escape from it.
I don't know if we can hurt it or not, but it seems to be pretty fucking durable.
How far would we need to run for it to escape? Well, for us to no longer be trackable.
Well, only one of you knows that and can speak.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had just grabbed a bite of rice, so it was unfortunate timing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time for snacking.
If it's using the spell that I think it is, and it's not anything else, it would be like maybe a half mile, maybe a quarter mile, somewhere in there, which is kind of far. How far away was it behind us when I sent the owl?
I believe I described it as 45 minutes. You guys did a bit of fucking around, so I would say like 40 minutes at behind you guys.
Okay. So in that case, I'm pretty sure it's not using the spell that I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wouldn't be in range. So it's some kind of magic that I don't understand at this point. It seemed to be using some kind of an object. It was green. In its forehead, kind of like a wisp jutting out of it.
Well, I suppose if we can't kill it, we could relieve it of the tracking object.
Maybe.
And escape, perhaps.
Yeah, so Croc will kind of slow at this point, and pause to see if that is the consensus.
I don't know if ambushing it is going to be effective because it seems to know where we are.
Well, we put the orb, or someone holding the orb, maybe give it to Croc. Maybe place him out in the open. And we all hide in trees or the tree line. And ambush it when it goes in. That's what I'd say.
We could try. I mean, I didn't see anything else around it, but we don't know if the dragon's far behind. I don't know if a fight is the right thing.
While you guys are saying this, there is another of those chilling moments where the world goes dark in a second where it shouldn't, as all moonlight is cut out, but it only happens for a split second. So something passes above the canopy, cutting out all moonlight, and just and that's it.
Do we hear anything accompanying the spooky shadow?
There is no slam this time. There is no impact. You guys kind of tense up because you're waiting for it, because always that you've seen this like shadow, it's been accompanied by a slam. This time, there is a chilling nothing.
Do we hear trees rattle as if something entered into the canopy, big or small?
Trees do rustle, but trees rustle like a second or so after the shadow passes.
Croc is just going to, knowing, trees and if you think it is, I think it's fairly reasonable, but you can tell me what you think. If you think it's reasonable that things have flown over my swamp before, Croc's going to try and gauge how high up it might be.
You didn't really get enough time. Like, it passed over so quickly, you didn't really get enough time to have a good idea. Fair. There was just like a shadow above the canopy, which like cut out all light for a moment, and then a rustle. Also, like, you've seen this thing in the distance. You've never actually been up close to it to know how big it is, or if it's the same big thing as before. So there's just way too many variables for you to actually like lock that down.
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah, because we were uncomfortably close to one of them, but we don't know if this is the same one.
Indeed.
Yeah, so Croc just kind of like is sort of like, mussing the ground with one of their hooves, like being like, we need to make a decision. Like, are we fighting this thing or are we moving?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're kind of throwing their head back and forth.
Yeah, Croc's body language is very impatient.
What do you think, Luna?
I don't know. It depends what Al wants.
The world looks to Al and just stops. Al is just staring into the middle distance.
Yeah, Al's mouth is slightly open with drool just dribbling out of it.
And if only we could shrink the orb to be small enough to fit into Al's fucking lead wine flask.
I mean, it's
Does Al have a lead wine flask?
Well, the way he acts.
Yeah, lead poisoning would explain a couple of things.
I was going to say, is this something I missed, or are you just making a joke?
Nah. I'm just too funny for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the lieu of an immediate decision, Croc will continue leading the party away from it in a sort of serpentining fashion.
Okay.
We could always split the party.
I have shrunk the orb, by the way.
Yes, the orb, while in Luna's possession, is shrunk.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't seemed to stop this creature pursuing.
No.
All right, well, going serpentine does lead this thing to catch up to you guys slightly, because it doesn't serpentine. It doesn't follow your exact path. It seems to know a direction and just travel in it, and then stop at certain points.
Okay, so the serpentine doesn't actually help shake it?
No.
Okay. Once that becomes apparent, Croc will just start going in as straight a line as possible.
Roger that.
I thought maybe we could like ping pong it a little bit to the point where it was like, it was basically just going in very, very long lines.
That doesn't seem to be the case. You've actually, I don't know if I've told that to John or if I told that to you guys. So,
Okay.
John's got the most information about this because he saw it with the owl.
Yeah.
But it just seems to be gunning it in your direction.
Uh-huh.
It's blasting through obstacles, but it
Yeah.
does slide on icy surfaces.
Well, we could. I think the only option we have is a hit and run to try and intercept the tracking tool. And
Yeah, I
then
mean,
scatter.
yeah, obviously Kruk does have opinions, but Kruk cannot communicate those unless somebody can speak with animals.
I can, but it only goes one way.
I mean, fair.
I think
not
everyone can do that. Oh, hello, Al. So, how much did you hear of the situation, or do you not know what's going on?
Totally all of it. I had to disappear once the owl took off. That like when he thought about the owl. That's the thing I
Right.
heard.
So John is currently mounted on a tree stag. That's the way I'm going to describe it, which Croc turned into. And Croc is leading everyone away, but Croc can't seem to communicate in this form other than like pawing the ground with their hoof. So, I don't know how to re-describe what John described of the entity, but there
Description
isn't
of the entity.
Mhm.
That's good enough for me.
8 foot tall in some kind of black metal, gunning it towards you. I believe John described it as exploding and reforming.
And also that
Correct.
it has hooves. No, horns. Horns.
Horns,
I have
yes.
hooves. It has...
You have hooves. It has horns.
Run? We are running, so okay. So, but like, it knows exactly where we are, right? Did you confirm that?
It seems to. It's following some kind of magic guidance.
That
So-
seems to be the impression you've got so far.
The slowest person, technically speaking, would
Is
be
you?
Jean, right?
No, I'm riding the tree stag.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're no longer slow.
I outran you last time, motherfucker.
Listen, it was a very cold day. Fuck you. Aren't you in an owl somewhere? Go do your owl thing.
He's back.
He's
Okay.
back.
What I was trying to say is, what are the chances we can just gun it and get some distance away from that thing?
Seems to be moving the same speed that we do, but it doesn't like the slush and the ice. It seems to be prone to falling over. So we might be able to outpace it, but if it just keeps coming after us, then it's just going to catch us tired.
Yeah, Krug will, with that information, kind of like skirt alongside. Yeah, kind of like try to skirt alongside like frozen bits of swamp water, so that when it starts like moving towards us, it sort of like slides on the frozen swamp water, but kind of like just so that we're moving along the edge of it, and just in the hope that it will just overshoot and just. Ooh.
Okay. So you stick to a piece of swamp water.
Yeah.
And like follow the edge of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do that, some time passes, and you like wait to see if this thing reacts or not. And like you see the tree shaking in the distance. There is a point where, because this thing seems to be moving to you direct as the crow flies, you had followed the edge of the water, the edge moved out and then back in. And then the distance back that this thing is, when it meets that edge that moves out and back in, it doesn't seem to react to that change in the water. And you guys hear like a colossal crash, splash sort of thing. And then it's not following you for a few minutes. And then it resumes a little bit further back.
Okay. Okay, Krug will keep that up then, just like moving towards bodies of swamp water and skirting it so that it basically kind of like taunt it into it, and just hope that we just keep dunking it.
So this strange path you're taking that Croc is leading you on isn't now leading you direct out of the Mere of Dead Men. You're still going north for the most part, but you are having to move towards bodies of water to slow this thing down. And you move there and like slow it down, and then move there and slow it down. And you seem to be making distance on this thing, but it is tiring, and it is like, it's still cold. It's not as bitter as it was. It's still cold. It is tiring, and this is not comfortable. This is not a pace you want to keep up forever, but you are gaining distance on it. However, you have a limited amount of time that you can move without suffering a point of exhaustion. Like, it's gonna, like, this has been going on for a while now. We're talking this happens over the course of hours. You guys need to stop and rest at some point again.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to.
It doesn't.
After about 2 hours, well, coming up on the 2-hour mark, Rock will kind of like stop, lean forward, and kind of like tip their shoulder to indicate that John needs to get off.
He will.
And they'll return to their normal form. And just say, look, we can keep that up for a while, but eventually we're going to need to sleep. I don't think that thing will.
Did we see anything else around it?
I didn't see anything, no.
It was just this being.
Fuck, if it doesn't get tired, well, we might as well just stand and fight now before we get tired and it gets to jump on us.
We may have to.
I mean, I don't like it, but I like what the knight said when he was talking about leaving the orb, like, in the middle of a clearing, and then getting up into the trees, that way we can ambush it.
It has to come to us.
You're
We
sure
can choose
it's
the
following the
battleground.
orb?
We don't know. It's
Did it
tracking
have
something.
eyes? Did it have a nose?
It had sort of like a rotted face underneath the faceplate. I didn't get a good look at it. It was dreadful.
Wait, rotted? Like dead rotted?
Like undead, maybe.
Wait, do dragons have dominion over undead? Normally?
I don't know.
It depends on the dragon, but there is nothing to say that dragons can't learn spellcasting.
Well, this could be a good chance to test the theory of if it is following the orb or one of us.
So what does that lead you guys to actually doing?
I think Krug will suggest...
I think we should find a clearing, preferably somewhere with terrain it struggles with, and lay ambush to it.
What if we just, like, fight it in the middle of a lake?
How the fuck are we gonna stand in the middle of a fucking lake?
Well, it's frozen, right? So the big entity would fall through the ice, but we wouldn't.
Yes, but we can slip and fall after it.
Just don't.
It wasn't part of the plan, but nothing goes part ever as planned, especially when there's ice involved.
Oh, this is true.
Also, if we do this, we need to figure out a way to do it fast as fuck, because we don't know that it's not gonna call for help like the other dude, and this time the dragon's on alert.
Yeah.
Better to fight it on as even a ground as possible.
Well, preferably uneven.
I recommend we find a body of water, stand on the opposite side of that body of water from this thing, bury the orb some 100 feet back, and then take up positions either side and just watch what it does. If it manages to get out of the lake and just starts moving towards the orb, we know it's tracking the orb, we jump it and try to destroy it.
Sounds like our only option.
Sounds like a good plan, yeah.
Okay, so where, like, are you going to immediately start looking for a body of water that you can start this plan on?
Yep.
Okay, you know this swamp. You've lived here your entire existence.
Yep.
You find one immediately, and start heading in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Is this plan to bury the orb 100 feet back, just in a place?
I just have a question, though. With the orb shrunk, how heavy would you say it is?
Difficult question to answer, but proportionally as heavy as it would be if you were normal sized.
So how heavy is that, though?
I believe I said it was like a lead orb the size of a billiard ball, so...
Heavy.
Heavy for its size. I'm not good at converting this kind of things to weight. So like a fairly sized dumbbell thing, whatever you call them. Weight.
Is it under 10 pounds?
Yeah, it would be under 10, I believe.
Okay, then... Guys, what I could do is I could hold the orb using magic in the middle of somewhere to see if it lures it.
Yeah.
Well,
rather than burying it.
That's what we could do is we could put it into effect from now.
I have a very weird question. Is the orb thing made of lead, or is it just as heavy as lead?
I described it as heavy as. You haven't been able to see the surface of it because it is constantly encrusting itself in ice.
Okay, cool.
Well, what we could do is we could float the orb in the air. I don't know.
Over the lake.
If you could fly up very high, we could see if it alters the course of the creature. If it looks up, then it knows. Then it's tracking the orb. But if it continues straight on a path and looking, to the horizon, then we know it's tracking something else, one of us.
You think you can do that, Luna?
Yeah. Why would I say it if I couldn't do it?
No, I didn't know if you could do it and float it up high.
I don't know what this would look like. I guess this looks like just one of my hands, but bigger?
It can look like however you want. It could be like a series of little pixie creatures, if you like. It can be whatever your imagination desires.
Okay, then it's probably like a little wisp thing with like wings, and it's just like glowing, but it's like a frosty bluish white color. And that like appears and pulls it out of my pack. And then hovers the orb off.
So are we talking like a spectral version of Luna, or like one of the fairies from The Legend of Zelda?
It's like the fairy from The Legend of Zelda. It's just wings and then like a light.
Yeah,
and the orb
wings
is like
and glow.
in the light section. So it looks like
It's
the orb is glowing. Flying.
Yes.
Yeah. And I move that 30 feet away from me to show them, like, if it's possible.
How high can that go? Because I mean, like high. In order to tell, we could send the owl back to see if it alters its course. That should give it as an advantage for when it arrives with us.
Good plan.
The only problem is I can only do this temporarily. I mean, I could keep recasting it, but...
I mean, even temporarily is fine, because once we know what it's coming for, we can prepare for it.
Like, this creature's like an hour behind us or something.
Being that you guys... you know what? I was going to ask this earlier, but I didn't want to break flow. Croc, can you make me a survival check? I want to see how well you did at creating distance between this thing. It is now an hour and a half behind you. So you have an hour and a half worth of time to prepare whatever you want to do to prepare for this creature.
So...
Okay.
I
So
can
so
be
plan.
somewhere far away from you guys, and I can like float it somewhere and hide in a tree. And then if you guys want to attack it or run away.
I have a different idea, just putting it out there for suggestions. If it's that far behind, if we can be far enough to... Wait, we don't... Okay, if we can confirm it's following the orb and not us, if we can make enough distance to make camp, and then hide the orb some ways away from camp and keep watch around the orb, not around the camp? Does that make sense?
No.
Only have an hour to sleep.
No, not right now. I mean, we already put some distance, right? We can just keep gaining on it, keep like getting away from it, and then
until we're
just
like
camp.
8 hours away.
Right,
Well,
but
not 8 hours, but like far enough.
Okay. This makes sense to Al. John, you immediately, being the wizard math guy, know that you're not going to gain enough distance of this to get enough rest to rest in the time it would take you before you need a rest.
Yeah.
So my plan, right, was we get the orb, we put it really, really high up, and then we send the owl over to go spy on him. And then if he's continuing straight towards the horizon, then we know he's not tracking the orb, he's tracking one of us. But then if he's like continuing straight towards the horizon and looking up for the orb, then we know he's looking for the orb. And then we can prep for that.
I feel like that would be better if we just moved the orb like 1,000 feet to the left of us.
I mean, that too.
Straight, because if it's right in front of us, he might
You
just
can
be
only move the mage hand 30 feet, guys. Come on.
Well, then you take it, Al, because you're so good at running for 30 hours.
I have a lot of ways of getting away from something, so if you guys want me to just go in a different direction, I can.
What if the something is tracking you magically?
I'll just disappear.
But if disappearing helps, then just disappear right now and we could go on our way.
No, I mean if it comes down to a fight.
I don't like that idea, no.
I mean, if we have this much distance between us and it, if we have Luna move east by a decent amount, and it is tracking her and not us, we can be relatively certain that it's tracking the orb. If the owl can tell us that, then we just move over to, reunite with Luna, and then, I mean, I think we're going to have to take it out. I think that's...
It doesn't feel like we can get away.
Croc, before we killed that enforcer, you said he managed to get off a communication spell. Do you know what it was that was said?
I can't remember if he was speaking Draconic or Common.
He was speaking Common, and he described that some people had taken the orb, and he described Croc.
Yeah.
A giant Croc.
Yes, he didn't describe now Croc. He described Hulk Croc.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Can your bird carry the orb?
Probably.
I mean,
could it carry it and fly it really far?
Just putting some pieces together from what the scruffy man said. It would appear that, like you said, it's out of range for the spell that you're thinking it would be using to track the object. So I do believe it will be tracking one of us.
He said that it had arcane stuff all over it. We don't know what it's enchanted with.
Exactly. This is yes, I think Luna's got a good idea. I think we get the owl to fly away with the orb and see if that changes its position or its direction any. And once we're sure, we try to just bust it up.
Can the owl carry the full-sized orb?
Imagine if Mage Hand can do it, the owl can.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Majel. Owl hand.
But I'm not actually finding the statistics for the owl.
Hold on. I'll try and find Owl.
That's my old character. He's
I was
dead.
going to say, I found Kay's character from the last D&D game.
Wait, did Owl die? Or did that game just die?
The game died. Owl did not die.
Cool.
Owl was
Should
too
I go
cool to die.
with the owl?
It can carry up to, I think, 45 pounds.
Oh yeah, that's fine then.
Because its strength score multiplied by 15. This is the weight in pounds that you can carry.
Right, I can go with the owl. I can ride the owl and the owl can fly off. That way if something goes wrong, it's safe.
I'm picturing a fairy riding an owl, and
Awesome.
I know I'm not supposed to say anything as a DM, but I love this plan because I love that visual.
That's a good visual.
Here it is.
Need new plan, DM's biased.
God. All right, so I'm going to start the clock and say we're now in real time where, as you guys are planning, the time is ticking down for this guy getting closer to you. So if you spend an hour and a half planning, I'm going to ask you to roll initiative.
Right, so we've got an hour and a half to plan, right?
Hopefully
Oh
less
my
than
God.
that, but
Yeah, I mean, I think
the only
Luna-
issue, guys,
Luna and the owl fly away. We
guys,
see if he changes.
guys,
What?
What?
guys.
What?
If the owl takes the orb, how do we look at the guy to see if he chases after the owl with the orb?
Good
Well,
point.
we'll start chasing the owl.
What? But he's an hour and a half away.
I mean, can you not still see through the owl's eyes?
So you want me to take the owl with the orb and fly it to the thing, looking for
Wait.
the orb?
Fly
Not
me
fly.
away as far as you can and then summon the owl back to you and then go look.
I could do that.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
if you
so
summon the owl back to you, will the orb come with?
Not if Luna takes it.
Ah, I see.
I mean, even if you summon it back too, it would just stay where it was. Anything that it's carrying or wearing gets left behind.
Which is why I need to go with it.
Okay. So I'll summon the owl back.
About this, I have a question about this plan. What does it change again? At the end of the day, we're gonna have to fight it before we sleep.
It changes how we plan the ambush. So if we know that it's tracking the orb, we can set the orb in a clearing and use that as bait because we know it's what the entity is coming for. But if it doesn't go towards the orb in its new location, we know that it's tracking one of us, and we have to plan the ambush differently.
How much time is your owl gonna take to get to it and then back?
Well, the owl's pretty fast.
I mean, it flies, so it moves twice as fast as we do.
Yes, but if it takes like 45 minutes, and it's only an hour or an hour and a half away.
Well, okay,
you guys should keep moving.
It wouldn't be half the time because it's moving towards you. The owl would be moving towards it, so it would be a quarter of the time. So it'd be like 15 minutes for the owl there.
Okay, then we're fine.
It would be 7 because the owl flies at 60 normal speed, so the owl could just double dash every turn and move 120 feet per turn.
Okay, yeah, fine. I will bend to 7 minutes then. So it would take 7 minutes for the owl to get there and get visual on this thing.
Then we're fine.
If you guys keep moving while the owl flies me like east or west of here and north, like northeast, northwest, whatever we're doing, and then summon it back and then go, that shouldn't change the time at all.
Agreed, because we'll still be moving.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else in the swamp, so Luna should be pretty safe, right?
Yeah, we're the only living things, so.
Okay.
That's not technically correct because plants are living things.
We're the only creatures.
That's the story of how Luna fell into a carnivorous Venus flytrap.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Look, I'm not saying they're in the swamp, but Karak, you know they're in the swamp.
Look, Audrey is normally very, very nice. Just be polite.
To you.
You called it Audrey. Really?
I thought it was a good name. Is there a problem with that?
Then it's no whatever.
She
Okay.
sounds old.
So what are you guys actually doing? The owl has been bamfed out.
Okay, so Luna gets on Owl. Owl with an O.
Sure, make it more confusing.
With the orb, flies northeast as we are traveling north for about half an hour. After half an hour, bamf the owl back to John and then send it south to intercept the creature and see if the creature is still steadily moving north towards us or if it is moving northeast towards Luna. Once we're aware, we either change our position. We'll change our position either way. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna try to land in a tree and stealth hide.
I have a new thought, if anyone wants to hear it. If this thing's making so much noise and knocking all the trees down, we can see it from an hour away from where we're at and know it's coming towards us. If we just take the orb and the owl and send it a half an hour in a different direction, leave Luna here so she's not in danger, we should notice through the trees that it's veering off its course, right?
Yeah, but then we'll have little time to prepare.
Well, no, because then I'll just fly the owl back to us. I'll tell him to go a half an hour in one direction and then turn around and then come back to us.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay. So the plan is to not send Luna anywhere.
Let's not split the party.
You are attaching the owl to the orb. How?
The owl has talons and he's going to grab the orb.
The orb directly?
Oh, no, he's going to grab the leather.
Yeah, we'll wrap it in leather.
Good save. You're about to lose your owl in the middle of this planning phase. Okay. So the owl is clutching the leather that the orb is in, and you are flying it half an hour in what direction?
Let's say to the west, towards the ocean.
West towards the ocean. Okay. So the owl's off.
Yeah, well, with the directions to after, let's say half an hour, turn around and then fly back to us.
Okay. Is everyone okay with this plan? This is definitely the plan the party is undertaking.
I think that makes sense.
It keeps everyone out of danger. We still get, hopefully, the same information.
Bro, I'm just a rogue. I got no magic bullshit. I don't know what's going on no more.
The only thing that's wrong with this plan is if something happens and my one hit point owl drops the orb half an hour away from us, we lose.
That's why I wanted Luna to go with it.
I mean, you can. I'm not stopping you. I'm just trying to, in character, I think John would be trying to protect Luna from being egregiously separated from the party.
Yeah, if Luna brings that point up, Karak will agree with Luna.
Okay, so revision 500 of the plan. You're sending the owl 500... Sorry.
495.
Okay, you're sending the owl half an hour away with Luna.
No, I'm just going to sit on Owl's shoulder.
Okay, so Luna's not going. Okay, so you're sending the owl half an hour away and then half an hour back and watching if the thing changes direction.
Yeah. Should it be more like 15 minutes? Because there goes our whole lead. If we stand here.
No, we're not going to stand. We're going to keep moving.
Well, then how am I going to get the owl back? He doesn't just know where I am.
Change directions now? If we're not sending anyone anywhere?
I mean, the owl's
How about we just dig a big hole, right?
And just get in it?
Just get in it and wait for it to come and kill us.
I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Also, I think we've lost a half an hour with planning here.
We see things, we kill it. Just stop making it too complicated.
So turn around and charge towards the thing?
It's better than this. This is giving me brain damage.
Well, you already had that.
Yeah, but it's getting worse.
Okay. So, new plan? Just ambush it? Don't worry about the orb? Is that what we're doing?
Just fucking up?
The only difference is what bait we use.
Listen. I'll stand somewhere with the orb. I don't care. Just let's stop planning, please.
Okay. I don't think this is a very good idea.
It's better than whatever the fuck we're doing.
If you're sure.
Dude, I can take a hit.
Where are you guys planning to ambush this thing? Or are you indeed giving up on that and just charging towards it?
I think we should still ambush it.
Yeah, I think we should still lead it over a body of water, make it dunk itself, and when it gets back out, we jump it.
Could do the old Stannis maneuver and find like a big lake. Put some holes in it.
Was it? Which one of you had the levitate thing that made me float?
Do we know?
What? One of you cast the spell.
Al doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Krug doesn't know.
I'm a rogue.
What the fuck? How do you not know who cast the spell?
I was beating the shit out of a frost troll and a effeminate wizard.
Anyone?
No reason to PvP like that.
No? Okay. We don't even know who cast the spell on me. Cool.
Find a nice lake. Lead it over the lake. See if it falls in. Laugh if it does. When it gets out the lake, we jump it.
Okay. So is that what you guys are doing?
Sure.
I think so.
I don't think we have time to do anything else anymore.
What's T minus roll initiative? Where's the timer at?
I said real time, so
yeah, I didn't.
Hour and 10 minutes, maybe.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it had been 20 or 30 minutes since we said that.
I think it's been about 20 minutes.
Okay. Does anyone have any trap spells? Or can we make like a... We know what direction he's coming from. What if we'd like dig a pit and put some spikes in it and like do some damage? Like Ponzi
Well, if we can get him over like a lake, then that'll slow him down and we can throw a bunch of range spells and attacks at him.
You guys have an issue.
We have an issue. There's this. I mean, you didn't see what I saw. There's just an 8-foot tall death machine sprinting towards us, blowing up trees and ignoring basically the entire swamp.
You have an issue. You think way too much. It's gonna get you killed. It's gonna get all of us killed, really.
I think not thinking enough is going to get us killed. I don't think that overthinking is a thinking. It's a problem.
See, this proves my point exactly.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
Right, so I guess find a lake, lure about onto it, prepare some traps. I've got some caltrops. and some ball bearings.
Ranged spells.
Hit him with ranged spells until he dies.
And then kite it for an hour and a half.
Do you still have caltrops?
I have 5 bags.
Okay.
I think I dropped 1.
Did the apocalypse start and All Might thought of was like, hey, I'm gonna grab all the caltrops I can.
Maybe.
Or maybe he crafted them himself.
Yeah, maybe I did. Did your guys start and be like, fuck it, the apocalypse started and be like, time to not grab a single weapon?
I can't use a single weapon, I punch people.
Wow, that's great.
He's got a baseball bat.
Yeah, that counts as a weapon.
I've got a baseball bat. Can't wait to not hit a single baseball with it.
It's a club, but it looks like a baseball bat. Right, so you're finding a lake, which Croc can do. How deep a lake would you like to find? Are you looking to be like really near the ocean and fully submerge this thing up to the waist, or what?
Well, we still need to shoot it.
I feel like up to the waist would be good.
Yeah.
That way, its maneuverability is impacted, but we can still target it with relative ease.
Okay. I will attempt to find a lake with those specificities.
For the sake of time, you do so.
Probably get around to the other side of it.
Okay. And then what? What do you set up once you're on the other side of that lake?
It's gonna have to kind of look to them for that. They don't really have anything.
Okay, so we need to ideally suspend the orb in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, that would be good.
And then what have I got? I've got caltrops, which I can throw in the water, I guess.
That's going to help very much.
Okay, so are you guys asking Luna to suspend the orb in the middle of the lake with her mage hand?
Yes, please, or levitate, or whatever she has.
Okay, so Luna, are you floating the orb to the middle? John has the orb.
We established that I didn't.
No, you took the orb to give it to your owl.
Yeah.
Yes, on a previous
Picked
plan.
it up with your owl.
So are you owl floating the orb in the middle of the lake, or?
It's actually quite a good idea, because the owl can then skedaddle with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have the...
Well, we could just make him need to walk across the lake to get to it, because it sounds like he's just walking in straight lines.
Mm-hmm.
We could just make him need to walk across the lake to get...
Yeah, we'll have the owl fly a figure 8 60 feet above the lake.
Okay. So the orb stays with the owl, and the owl is now flying a figure 8 pattern above the lake, 60 feet up.
So hopefully it's out of reach.
Okay. And where are you guys positioning yourselves?
Tree.
Ooh, also tree.
Daring, aren't we?
I'm going to be next to a tree, kind of crouched in the foliage.
Okay.
Honestly, until someone objects, Ella's just standing there in plain sight, maybe leaning on a tree until the thing gets there.
Will our hero's long and convoluted plan pay off? Will they get immediately slaughtered by this unknown foe? Find out on the next episode of Buddies in Battles.